Today is Saturday, the first day of December 2018. I welcome all the good people of the Lord in the name of our Lord and only Savior Jesus Christ, the only God with an empty tomb, to this last and powerful month of December 2018, the month of the overcomers, the month with 5 Saturdays, 5 Sundays, and 5 Mondays that only happen once in every 823 years. The millennium month of deliverance, in which our Lord and Savior Jesus had already wrought great victory of deliverance for all his children all over the world. The month of our great triumph over the forces of darkness, as we shout unto our Lord with voice of triumph, as we triumph over the plot of the devil and his children against the children of the Lord in this last month and last battle of their life. Jesus conquered the world and gave us victory, and that victory we claim it now as our own inheritance in the name of our Lord Jesus Christ. Amen and amen and amen. This is my 18th message and my 17th voice message to the good people of the earth. In today's message, very important and epochal, that people are mandated to spread all over the surface of this earth inhabited by human beings. We will be looking at two very prominent issues, among others, that will finally mark the end of the evil empire called Nigeria. And those issues are how elections are conducted in Nigeria and the acts of the Fulani herdsmen. This message is the first and the main foundation in a series of 3 others to come that will be the beginning of the actual work. Not talking without work, but actual work that will stop, kill, or put on hold, especially the 2019 presidential election in Nigeria. That presidential election will not and must not be allowed to hold. So this is not a matter people will joke with. It is a very important matter. Nnamdi Kanu, the leader of the indigenous people of Biafra, in his message on Saturday, November 24, 2018, raised a puzzle. Why are the Yorubas covering for the Hausa Fulanis? The answer is that they are covering up for the evils of their son, former President Olusegun Obasanjo, as you will find out in this particular piece. This epochal investigative masterpiece will clearly prove Nnamdi Kanu's true on his statement that Biafrans are the best investigative journalists in the whole world. It was through the same divine investigative journalism that I was able to expose the origin of the so-called Russian government election meddling in the 2016 U.S. presidential election being investigated by Special Counsel Robert Mueller, which are perfectly articulated and sent to President Donald Trump a long time ago, that claim was actually a phony, cooked up evil tool by the leadership of the Democratic Party of America, written by 2 former American presidents of Bill Clinton, Barack Obama, including Hillary Clinton, former American CIA and FBI directors of John Brennan, James Comey, also former Secretary of State, John Kerry, among many others, among numerous others, which is the origin, you can, Hillary Clinton unintentionally gave out in her book what happened, that can be located from the second of the last paragraph of page 64 to the whole of page 65 and 66, which form the nucleus of the Russian elections hamburger that they weaponized and sent out to undo President Trump, which I long foretold is dead, as nothing will happen to President Trump as long as the Russian issue is concerned, only that they are desperately plotting to assassinate him, which is not even taking the very deep desired precaution you're supposed to take. It's not even taking it. That is it. It's not even taking it. A while ago, they said the winter coming in upon Trump, on the Russian globe. What happened? Nothing is going to happen because they know it's a fraud. There's nothing they can do to him. I challenge anybody to prove otherwise. I'm the man who saved him from that scam. That is why he can be confident today to assure them that nothing will happen, and if they like, they blow up everything. They are only looking for a leeway, just to save the American face. And they cannot give the, they cannot give the glory to a black man because they don't value black people. So that is it. The 3 more messages on election that will come after this one is how the 2015 election was conducted, in which Buhari was fraudulently declared the winner. Then the most important one is how the Anambra election, gubernatorial election, was conducted. Then I will round it up with electronic voting. Even though Nigeria are not 100% into full electronic voting, I will round it up. By the time I finish all this, nobody will be talking about 2019 election again. They will not be talking about the presidential election. But before those messages, I'm going to preach a very powerful message after this one, and that is the message on the course the Igbos will take from now onwards as we head into 2019. Igbos in particular and Biafrans in general. So, before I proceed, it is very important I just say early. That you get a long sheet of paper. People should go and get a long sheet of paper and make a table of 5 columns. Then head them as follows, after separating them with long lines, straight lines downwards. You are going to head them. Number of states in Nigeria. You line them from number 1 in alphabetical order to 37. Registered voters in another column. Then ID card, people who registered in ID card in another column. Then the last column will be the differences. In the order of the alphabetical order, I can call it now so that people can write it down and it will not be difficult when we get to that place. The alphabetical order is Abia State 1, Adamawa 2, Akwa Ibom, Anambra, Bauchi, Bayelsa, Benue, Borno, Cross River, Delta, Ebonyi, Edo, Ekiti, Enugu, Gombe, Imo, Jigawa, Kaduna, Kano, Katsina, Kebbi, Kogi, Kwara, Lagos, Nasarawa, Niger, Ogun, Ondo, Osho, Oyo, Plateau, Rivers, Sokoto, Taraba, Yobe, Zamfara, Federal Capital, Abuja. I will repeat it again when we get to that point, but you have to get your long sheet of paper now in advance. We are going to start. Like I said, my name is Chinyere Eze Ogu, the messenger of the message of the carcass that is gathering the elect of God in this down scenario for the translation of the elect. So we are going to start. Why the 2019 presidential election must be put on hold. It has to be put on hold to enable Nigerians clear the debris from the falling superstructure, the Leviathan superstructure called Nigeria, the fraud superstructure, before the entire edifice fall on all of us and exterminate our life forever. That is why it must have to be put on hold for us to prepare and clear the debris before the superstructure falls on all of us. 2019 election, Gowon, Kumuyi, Sanwo, Olu, others hold prayer section for Nigeria. That is Vanguard, November 22, 2018. Ahead of the 2019 general election, I'm reading it, which comes up in February, General Yakubu Gowon, General Superintendent, Deeper Christian Life Ministry, Pastor W.F. Kumuyi, and many other men of God have organized a special prayer service at the Deeper Life Bible Church headquarters, Bagada, Lagos. The special service, which holds on Sunday, according to a release from the office of the General Superintendent, Deeper Christian Life Ministry, Pastor W.F. Kumuyi, the summit is to draw up sufficient prayers and heart cry for the nation which is undergoing testing times, which is prime to hold election 3 months from now. As a prelude to the very strategic service, Pastor Kumuyi urged all saints of God within and outside of Nigeria never to give up on their fatherland, stressing that what man cannot achieve through human efforts, he can always be accomplished when the redeemed of the Lord pray unto him for success and for divine intervention. The cleric further declared that not only is it essential for believers to consistently intercede on behalf of their nation, as Daniel did for Israel while in captivity, officials of government at all levels should always be invited and drawn to God's presence as a salutary acknowledgement and acceptance of God as the only fitting solution to the nation's gargantuan challenges. It will be recalled that the convener of Nigerian Praise, General Yakubu Gowon, has similarly remarked that Nigeria's problem can be solved faster and better than physical weapons of war. He also noted that God would honor the collective prayers and intercessions of Nigerians for the nation and heal the nation's wound. Highlights of the service will include powerful prayer sessions, and a goodwill message by General Gowon. Pastor W.F. Kumuyi, the host pastor, will deliver the message at the service. The governors of Lagos, Bayelsa, Edo, and Ekiti State, Mr. Akunwumi Ambode, Honorable Seriaka Dixon, Mr. Godwin Obaseki, and Dr. Kayede Fayemi, respectively, will grace the occasion. Mr. Jide Sanwo-Olu, a governorship candidate in Lagos State, will also attend the intercessory service. Other distinguished personalities from all walks of life are also expected at the service, which will be broadcast globally. That is the end of the news report. Well, I'm sorry to tell you, it is too late for Nigeria. Too late. No matter what you do, your prayers don't go to anywhere. So, following in that vein, I'm going to read a portion of the Bible, the Holy Book, for you. As was recorded in the Holy Book on the cure of Naaman the leper. This is not one of those messages you should hear anywhere. So people should take it very, very serious, because we are into very serious times. I'm reading from the book of 2 Kings. I will read from 2 Kings 5. I will read from verse 9 to verse 27. On the healing of Naaman the leper. It says, So Naaman came with his horses and with his chariot, and stood at the door of the house of Elisha. Elisha is the prophet of God of that time. And Elisha sent a messenger unto him, saying, Go and wash in Jordan 7 times, and thy flesh shall come again to thee, and thou shalt be clean. But Naaman was wroth, and went away and said, Behold, I thought he will surely come out to me, and stand and call on the name of the Lord his God, and strike his hand over the place, and recover the leper. And not Abana and Pharpar, rivers of Damascus, better than all the waters of Israel, may I not wash in them and be clean? So he turned and went away in a rage. And his servants came near and spake unto him, and said, My father, if the prophet had bid thee to do some great things, wouldest thou not have done it? How much rather than when he said to thee, Wash and be clean? Then went he down and dipped himself 7 times in Jordan, according to the saying of the man of God. And his flesh came again like unto the flesh of a little child, and he was clean. And he returned to the man of God, and he and all his company, and came and stood before him. And he said, Behold, now I know that there is no God in all the earth, but in Israel. Now therefore I pray thee, man of God, take a blessing of thy servant. But he said, As the Lord liveth, before whom I stand, I will receive none. And he urged him to take it, but he refused. And Naaman said, Shall there not then, I pray thee, be given to thy servant 2 moles burden of earth, for thy servant will henceforth offer neither burnt offering nor sacrifices unto other gods, but unto the Lord. In this thing, the Lord pardoned the servant, that when my master goeth into the house of Rimmon to worship there, and he leaneth on my hand, and I bow myself in the house of Rimmon. When I bow down myself in the house of Rimmon, the Lord pardoned thy servant in this thing. And he said unto him, Go in peace. So he departed from him a little way. But Gehazi, the servant of Elisha, the man of God, said, Behold, my master has spared Naaman this Syrian, in not recovering at his hands that which he brought. But as the Lord liveth, I will run after him and take somewhat of him. So Gehazi followed after Naaman. And when Naaman saw him running after him, he lighted down from his chariot to meet him and said, Is all well? And he said, All is well. My master has sent me, saying, Behold, even now there come to me from Mount Ephraim 2 young men of the sons of the prophets. Give them, I pray thee, a talent of silver and 2 changes of garments. And Naaman said, Be content, take 2 talents. And he urged him and bound 2 talents of silver in 2 bags with 2 charges, 2 changes of garment, and laid them upon 2 of his servants, and they bare them before him. And when he came to the tower, he took them from their hands, and he stored them in the house. And he let the men go, and they departed. But he went in and stood before his master. And Elisha said unto him, Whence comest thou, Gehazi? And he said, Thy servant went no whither. And he said unto him, Went not my heart with thee? When the man turned again from him, from his chariot to meet thee, is it a time to receive money, and to receive garment, and olive yards, and vineyards, and sheep, and oxen, and maidservants, and maidservants? The leprosy therefore of Naaman shall cleave unto thee, and unto thy seed forever. And he went out from his presence a leper as white as snow. That is the end of the scripture. I dedicate this epic edition, that is the beginning of unmasking the Nigerian fraudulent election, to all those men and women, world leaders, both past and present, and people from all walks of life who support and assiduously work tirelessly to maintain the factitious evil entity called Nigeria, the great abomination of all nations of the world. To all those who claim in words of mouth that the unity of Nigeria is sacrosanct, non-negotiable, and cannot be dissolved in their acronym GOWON, G-O-W-O-N, that is, Go On With One Nigeria. I dedicate peace to them and pray that henceforth, if they do not reverse or retreat from this their evil way, this their evil-minded pursuit of this cause to further keep the enslaved people of Nigeria in bondage, may everything that involves them in their family life, in their countries, in their congregations, in every aspect of their life, begin to bear the fruits of the negative things happening in Nigeria that they support. May the plague of corruption and evil activity that goes on in Nigeria, like the plague of leprosy that was formerly on Naaman, left him at the west of the man of God Elisha, and clung unto his servant Gehazi, who did evil in the sight of the Lord, due to his greediness for money and other earthly material things. So shall all this evil place of Nigeria cling forever on the supporters of one Nigeria and their seeds forever and ever. May they be like Nigeria all their life, unless they beat a retreat from their evil path and work for the destruction of one Nigeria in order to set the captive free. Even the lawful captives shall be set free. If anybody wants to challenge me in this world and you want to die, the easiest way to die is to open your mouth and say Biafra will not come. Go and look at all of them that mentioned they are dead people. The moment you say it publicly, that is the end of your life. Just count me on this. So we are going into the message. I will start with the quote of Wole Soyinka, the Nobel laureate. He said in one of his pieces, where facts exist and are testable, it becomes a public duty to use them as nails driven deep into the coffin of liars. That is what Professor Wole Soyinka said in Benders of Truth, Fugitives from History. I repeat the quote again. Where facts exist and are testable, it becomes a public duty to use them as nails driven deep into the coffins of liars. You see them, Liar Mohammed and all of them, fake news, they are making noise when they are the purveyors of the fake news. Follow me discernibly as we go through this particular foundation of an important piece that will destroy the zoo. Now, democracy, as was taught to us in those days, in those our heydays of our primary schools, means government of the people, for the people, and by the people. The Webster's New Collegiate Dictionary defines democracy as a government by the people, rule of the majority, a government in which the supreme power is invested in the people and exercised by them directly or indirectly through a system of representation involving periodically held free elections. The New Standard Encyclopedia has this to say about democracy, and I quote, government by the people, the name came from the Greek and means rule by the people. Democracy is government by the majority of the people or majority rule. Obviously, the main source of exercising this power by the majority had always been through elections for their representatives. This globally held definition of democracy obviously has found a very different interpretation, mainly in developing countries, especially Nigeria. The later Afrobeat legend Fela Anikulapo Kuti, obviously from his experience of witnessing how democracy has played out in the country, especially in elections during his lifetime, redefined democracy obviously from the Nigerian viewpoint as demonstration of craziness. Fela's definition actually hit the bullseye as regards the country, Nigeria, as the blight of credible elections had been quite destructive and traumatic for the country and the people of Nigeria, whose franchise has always been supplanted in the elections held in the country by their wicked, cruel, and visionless rulers posing as the country's leaders, who unfortunately for a long time have been determining the earthly destination of the country and her people. The only recognized free and fair election before this democratic dispensation that the late Chief MK Abiola won was honored by the powers that be in Nigeria. From this democratic dispensation that commenced in May 1999, it has been one flawed election after the other, especially at the presidential bid, right from the very first election in 1999 and particularly the 2003 election that actually brought about the full meaning of democratic election from the Nigerian experience and Fela's pointed definition as a demonstration of craziness to the supplementary. From my own observation, I defined it as a system of government where a court of majority power brokers manipulates power out of the hands of the majority for their selfish aggrandizement, using the same majority as cannon fodder to hold, consolidate, and maintain that power. That is what is laying out. They obviously fairly conducted election that could be said to have reflected the wish of the people, exercised through their franchise of voting, but not perfect, was the 2011 election that brought in the tenure of the former president, Goodluck Azikiwe Jonathan. The question is the 2019 election going to reflect the franchise of the majority of Nigerians that are supposed to vote in that election? The answer from this painstaking, cost-intensive investigative journalism carried out by myself that spanned many years is a thunderous no. Why? One may ask. Because the election has already been rigged and results already prepared and known before the start of the election that will commence with the most important of all, the presidential election. We are going to find out how. So you follow me and you listen and see. Now, let us look at the 2003 election, which is the foundation of everything we are going to expose. How was it conducted? The 2003 election marks the beginning of highly sophisticated supersonic scientific rigging in Nigeria that has proven to be foolproof in stealing the mandate of the people. That strategy brought former President Obasanjo to power for a second tenure in 2003. It is important to note that in developing countries, rigging of elections always appear to take a tripartite course of one before the election, during the election, and after the election. In the case of the 2003 election, all rigging took place before the election, and subsequent actions and manipulations in the field, like ballot snatching and so on and so forth, were acting hollow to accommodate and justify the results already written before the elections. Now, for us to understand what happened in 2003 election, let us look at the pre-election climate, the climate of the election before the election in 2003, so that it can be easy for us to understand as we go on. I'm going to read you a news report of the Insiders magazine, number 17 of April 28, 2003, with the cover story, Rigging to Victory, the SS report that triggered it off. I want the world to listen so that we can understand the background before that election. And you know, in that election, you can see how Obasanjo knelt down and begged his vice, Atiku Abubakar, so that he can be able to win in that election. So you can see that his position was a very hopeless position, and yet it triumphed. You are going to see how it happened. We are now looking at the background from this report of the Insiders. Now I'm reading that report. You say, the SS report that triggered it off, that is from the Insider magazine number 17 of April 28, 2003. You see, documented the report of the State Security Service on the likely winner of the yet to be conducted presidential election, and their verdict was, I'm reading it exactly as they wrote it, 3 weeks before the presidential election last weekend, that is April 19, 2003. And even the National Assembly election on April 12, President Olusegun Obasanjo has summoned Colonel Kayode Are, retired, the director of the State Security Service, SSS, to Aso Rock, the seat of power in Abuja, the nation's capital. Obasanjo was worried about the possibility of his re-election in the April poll and his place in history, given the revolt against his second coming as president. Within his own party, the People's Democratic Party, PDP, L.S. Ekwueme is now led Second Republic Vice President, who contested and lost the January 5, 2003 PDP presidential nomination against Obasanjo, was still at the Abuja High Court, praying the court to restrain the president from parading himself as the party's candidate for the scheduled April election, and also prevent the party from presenting him to the Independent National Electoral Commission, INEC, as the party's flag bearer. Although the PDP chairman had described Ekwueme's suit as an invitation to a coup d'etat, Ekwueme alleged that PDP violated certain provisions of the party's guideline and constitution at the convention. Obasanjo was worried that the leadership of the PDP was at dagger drawn with officials of the Obasanjo Atiku campaign organization over the control of the 2 billion fund raised, 2 billion naira fund raised for his presidential campaign, and wondered what impact a campaign organization divided against itself would make on the Nigerian electorate. The president was worried also that in spite of the efforts of Atiku Abubakar, his VP, in selling him to the northern emirs and people, the North was still angry with him. The Arewa Consultative Forum, STF, a northern socio-political group, were angry with Obasanjo for disempowering the North economically by the ridiculous manner he treated agriculture, the region's main industry, in the 2002 budget. He said the amount of money Obasanjo allocated to agriculture was about 4 times less than what he allocated to the National Orientation Agency or the Ministry of Information. Obasanjo was also worried that he cannot really be sure of the support of the oil-rich Littorian states, especially those in the South-South political zone, because of his refusal in the national interest, according to him, to assent to the 2002 onshore/offshore dichotomy abrogation bill as passed by Senate and House of Representatives. The bill guaranteed increased fund allocation to the area. The president was worried that the Igbo, one of the three major ethnic groups in the country, was yet to see him as a man that they can trust, and wondered whether they will vote for him in the April poll. Amidst all this, he called the SS director to his office. Competent sources told Insider Weekly that the president asked Array to do an honest assessment of his chances of winning the 2003 presidential poll. He insisted there must be no coloring to the report. It must be honest, he instructed Array. Thus, Array swung into action by raising a crack team of intelligent men who were dispatched to different political zones of the country. These SSS operatives sniffed for information in the field, and they reported directly to Array, although the state directors of the SSS were informed of the presence of this crack team to ensure their support for their work. They had no control over their report. At the end of the investigation by the SSS, Array was said to have gone to Obasanjo. He pointedly told Obasanjo that from fast on the ground, former military head of state, General Muhammadu Buhari, now contesting against him on the platform of the All Nigerian People's Party, ANPP, was likely to win. This was said to be Array's frank assessment of the chances of the presidential candidates before the election. But competent insiders said there was a sense of surprise among the SS brass at the way he, Obasanjo, reputed for his no-eat-all style, responded to the report. The president received the work calmly. He accepted it and was alleged to have said he was prepared to hand over if he lost the election. Obasanjo accepted the report, sources said, adding that Obasanjo, the Ota chicken farmer, was not really desperate to hang onto power. Speculations heightened over Obasanjo's attitude nonetheless. Continuing, the report wrote, fears of rigging abound, the report said, but even the SSS believed there would be a limit to what the government could manipulate. That is the end of the SS report. And don't forget then that Muhammadu Buhari had a frontline Igbo erudite scholar, the late Chubo Akadibo. A man that have local and international support. Followers, dedicated followers all over, as his vice president in that election. And that was true, that in the actual election, Obasanjo never won that election. So we are going to see the manipulations that happen, because those in medicine will know that if you want to stop the spread of a disease, you must know how it works. If you don't know how the spread occurs, you cannot be able to stop it. So those saying they are going to stop the election by cut and do that, if you don't know how elections are conducted in Nigeria, you can't be able to stop anything. Whether your people vote or they don't vote, they will still go ahead and announce you have voted, whether you voted or not. So you must understand how they do these things. If you don't understand it, you are wasting your time. All you do is talk shop and nothing more. You can't influence anything. That is why this report I'm making today must be taken seriously. This foundation, if you understand this foundation and other ones, no way they can be able to rig elections in Nigeria, and the whole system will collapse. Now, at the end of the SS report, what was the result? Unbelievably, President Obasanjo did not only win with a thunderous landslide in that presidential election, the method they adopted in that rigging was so effective that PDP had a field day both at the National Assembly and gubernatorial elections that were held in that year. Importantly, all the opposing figures, especially in the Senate and House of Representatives, who has stood solidly against Obasanjo's policies during his first tenure, especially the then regime Bakassi Imbroglio, were all weeded out through the method applied. You know, the sell-off of Bakassi Peninsula, which I'm the only living scientist who have been able to tell you pointedly that Bakassi Peninsula is the lost garden of Eden. That biblical garden of Eden you hear in the Bible is exactly Bakassi Peninsula. Go and investigate it. Let scientists go there. Let archaeologists go there. That is the soul, the center of Nigerian problems. You know, Obasanjo, they did a deal with all these anti-crime forces, with Adenogas, Globacom, and all that. You know, today's message is a lengthy message, so that is not for discussion. That is what lies at the epic center of Nigerian problem. You see? So all of them that oppose him in the Senate, go and look at all of them. Internationally, they ganged up and they use this method to rig all of them out. Pius and all of them. Go and look at all of them. Did they contest? They run away. The ones that contested, what happened to all of them? All of them went, they rigged all of them out. Go and look at all of them now, but all of them, prominent people in their places. You understand me? Even the Alliance for Democracy. Let us see the report of the Alliance for Democracy that entered into a deal with Obasanjo and see what happened. You see? The Alliance for Democratic Party, a Southwest-based political party that entered into alliance with the PDP to give Obasanjo support to win the presidential election, were shocked when the National Assembly election took place and results announced as Iyola Omisere. Can you imagine? Formerly deputy governor of Osho State that was impeached and was then standing trial for the murder of late Bola Ige. Can you imagine late Bola Ige? Bola Ige, one of the most loved sons of the Yorubas. One of the frontline leaders of the Yorubas. And look at this man that was standing trial for his mother, Omisere, at the time of the election, who was contesting for the senatorial seat of Osho, Osho State, Osho West District. He was not even in the election in absentia. He won, clearly. He won. Can you imagine? Can you beat that? Can you beat that? He won. The Alliance for Democratic Party that controls the whole of the Southwest region that won 17 senatorial seats out of the 18 senatorial seats of the Southwest in the 1999 election were only able to win 6 senatorial seats in the 2003 election, while PDP won 12 of the 12 seats. Won 12 of the seats. Can you imagine? According to the news report of the Insider magazine that captured the angst, the annoyance of the Southwest people then, shell-shocked at the senatorial result. Afenifere, the Pan-Yoruba social political group, met with the 6 AD governors of the Southwest at the Lagos residence of their leader that is late now, Abraham Adesanya, and deliberated on how the election was conducted. They wrote from the meeting describing the National Assembly election as a monumental fraud and therefore rejected the results. Odumaki's administrative secretary said that President Obasanjo and the PDP leadership should prevail on their members in the Southwest to stop manipulating the electoral process. The communique said that PDP captured the zone through the following ways: the disenfranchising of many eligible voters through artificial scarcity of ballot papers, using the army and the police personnel to intimidate political opponents, the recruiting of PDP card-carrying members as electoral officers at all levels, delaying of the exchange of temporary voters' tier slip to voters' cards to the date of election, thereby preventing genuine voters from voting, the use of youths and other voters to aid the rigging process, and replacement of genuine ballot boxes with fake ones. Afenifere vowed to resist any attempt by any political party to push it into irrelevance. We know the Yoruba people will resist any repeat of the violations of their right and resist the agents of destabilization who have been on preventing them from exercising their vote, the communique said. We have put our people on red alert to identify the collecting centers where these manipulations are in all the 6 states in the zone and take necessary steps to put a stop to this no matter the cost, the secretary said. He explained that the AD and PDP path was only to maintain peace. Instructively, some AD governors then threatened the repeat of the Operation Weti of 1964 to 1965 if the rigging continues. On his part, the presidential candidate of the All-Nigerian People's Party, ANPP, Major General Muhammadu Buhari, retired, rejected the result of the 2003 presidential election as declared by the Independent National Electoral Commission as a farce, denouncing it as the most fraudulent since independence. All over the Federation, the anger of the people's rejection of the 2003 election was fierce as they pointedly denounced the whole exercise as a complete farce, while the then President Obasanjo on the 1st of January 2004 claimed that one of the miracles God performed in his life in 2003 was his re-election despite the forces which marched against him in his second term bid. Obasanjo, in a testimony at the end of year service of Owu Baptist Church in his hometown Abeokuta, said the odds were stacked against his re-election on April 19, 2003. He further explained that from the time he expressed his interest to seek re-election in 2002 through the National Convention of the People's Democratic Party in Abuja in the general election, the situation appeared hazy about what the poll result will be. He concluded by giving glory to God for his victory at the polls, which emphasized is a huge miracle. We are going to see that God of Obasanjo today. Everybody should open his eyes. When they call on God, you should know the God that they are calling about. That is why in my second message, there is going to be another Mankame showdown that will involve all the people of this whole world. We are going to prove the real identity of God in the next message. So back to today's topic. The foolproof method was so effective that in Anambra State, for instance, the then governor of Anambra State, Chinwoke, Mbadinuju, who decamped to AD to the contest, was destroyed by a private individual, the then infant terrible kingmaker, Chief Chris Oba, who was asked then on one occasion, what is it between you and President Obasanjo that makes you such a darling friend of the president? Do you know what what Oba, do you know what he responded? He said, it is only in Anambra now, where there was a sitting governor in another party, AD, that you have a private person in PDP who delivered the state. That is why the president doesn't joke with me, because I fought hard to make sure that I return the state to PDP. This claimed Chris Oba, who actually, he doesn't even know how that election was conducted, how the deal was done, but rather may have been used to create the necessary confusion to justify the already rigged election. The then prelate of the Methodist Church and the staunch supporter of the then President Obasanjo, Dr. Sunday Mbang, while reacting to people's rejection of the election described as a farce, said, is it possible for anyone to rig elections successfully with as much as 10 million votes? The answer by my investigation is yes. It happened in 2003 and it will happen again even in 2019. Now you find out how the deal was done. We are now going to enter into it. How the deal was done. The graphic details of how the deal was done in 2003 that show clearly, like daylight robbery, replicated in what the chairman of INEC, Professor Atahiru Jega, successfully acted out exactly in his fraudulently conducted 2015 election. You understand me? Because it moved me and I wrote a book on it, which was captured in chapter 4 of my book, Anambra Saga, which was like a letter to the then governor of Anambra State, Chris Ngige, that decoded how the whole event took place. In the subheading of chapter 4 of that book, entitled Compromised Majority, Chris Ngige is presently a serving minister of the Federal Republic of Nigeria. And it is in this narrative that you will discover how Obasanjo third term died. Also, Sokalo claimed that he did it. We are going to see how I killed that third term ambition. If you say you did anything, you are going to show us how you did it, so that the world will judge. So we are going to see for the first time how Obasanjo third tenure, that he spent billions and trillions of naira and dollars, how I killed it without any fund. You are going to see everything. Now, I'm going to read from the extract of this book to solve this riddle on how the 2003 election was conducted. And you will even see how the 2015 election was conducted, the modified method of it as we go on, and the implication for the year to be conducted 2019 election. Now we shall see how the details of the feat that India Chris Oba to Mr. President was accomplished, and how it was possible to rig the election successfully with as much as 10 million votes. Now I'm going into the extracts from that book. And the one should pay attention, very important. Prior to the commencement of the general election in 2003, precisely on April 6, 2003, 6 days to the poll, 6 days to the poll, the Sunday Vanguard in its special edition published a very important information from INEC, which was the cover story for that edition, to the effect that, note this information, very, very important. What did they say? 7 million Nigerians won't vote. You are going to see how INEC arrived at this exactly 7 million Nigerians. So when they tell you that they don't do any field work, there's nothing like field data. Forget about all this voters registration and all that. They are nonsense. They are only acting hollow. Nothing. Hold on to this news report. Very, very important. Saturday Vanguard in its special edition published a very important information from INEC, which was the cover story for that edition, to the effect that 7 million Nigerians won't vote. INEC. Can you imagine? The electoral body boss, who released the detailed figures of duly registered voters at a briefing attended by the media executives in Abuja, also said the commission was ready for the April 12 and 19 elections. Lagos topped the list with the highest voters. I will tell people when to start to write. With the highest voters of 4,558,216 voters, followed by Kano with 4,430,000, while Kaduna and Katsina accounted for 2,620,999 and 2,567,245 to rank the third and fourth respectively. The Federal Capital Territory posted the least figure of 628,000, which is slightly behind Bayelsa State with 765,472 voters. Anambra State accounted for the highest figure of disqualified applications, which total was put at 676,293 by the commission, followed by Rivers State with 509,470. All at the box zonal level, the Northwest Zone, comprising Zamfara, Sokoto, Kebbi, and Jigawa State, has the highest voters of over 15 million, followed by the Southwest, Lagos, Ondo, Oyo, Ogun, Osho, Ekiti State, with over 12 million. Northeast Zone, Adamawa, Bauchi, Gombe, Borno, Yobe, Taraba, posted 9 million voters. South Zone, Bayelsa, Rivers, Cross River, Delta, Edo, Akwa Ibom has 8.9 million voters, leaving the North Central, Niger, Nasarawa, Kwara, Kogi, Plateau, Benue, Abuja, and Southwest Zone, and Southeast Zone, that is Abia, Ebonyi, Enugu, Imo, and Anambra State with 8.3 million and 7.2 million voters respectively. Speaking on INEC preparation for the election, Ebe Gwebedia, the INEC chairman, is already late now. INEC boss said that over 90% of all ballot papers purported to be used during the poll had been received, adding that the balance will be in the commission's custody by the middle of the week. This includes ballot boxes locally fabricated or repaired. The ad hoc staff that will perform election duties have been recruited and are being trained. The police, SSF personnel, and all military personnel such as customs, immigration, and prison staff has been made available. We have received in full the funding which was approved for electoral activities in this year's budget. That is Gweba was saying, the electoral boss. Gwebedia, who maintained that the conduct of the election is not threatened, dismissed urgent calls by some parties for postponement of the polls on grounds of the Commission's lack of preparation or on some perceived non-compliance with the law. He said, in the first place, we think it is wrong to both take us to court and then call for postponement before a legal decision is given, the INEC boss said. He continues, secondly, all parties are fully aware of our preparations, and while we appreciate their concern that we should be well-funded and empowered to do our job, a claim of our lack of preparation should be predicated on factual evidences. Thirdly, all the parties calling for a postponement of this election are busy preparing for the election, even as I speak to you, which is their right to do. Finally, it does appear that some parties is merely engaged in running down the competence and integrity of the electoral process and machinery for their own reasons, when they can simply exercise the choice of participating in the election or staying out of it for now. The report concluded. Responding to questions from the press. That's another question. Gobela disclosed that military men will accompany vehicles transporting sensitive materials to their destination because the condition in Nigeria demands so. He said that the commission had recommended restriction of movement on the election day, but pointed out that it did not recommend closure of national borders. The INEC stated that the police had been asked to be on the trail of those who engage in multiple registrations and with a view of apprehending them for prosecution. Gobela hinted that the election will be postponed in areas where there is a breakdown in security, and that if the election fails, it is the shame will be that of Nigerians, not himself. Now, the question is, do you know why INEC voided the application of 7 million Nigerian voters? Do you know why? Now, find out the answer. Do you know the answer? You will see that Nigeria is not only a fraudulent country that may likely have an imposter as the president. It is a fraudulent country that foreigners too conduct their election for them. Let the world follow as I blow the lid off this thing. I tell you to hold on to that key news. Why the vote of 7 million Nigerians few days to the election that INEC smuggled in and said 7 million Nigerians will not vote. Now, I want to show the world how they arrived at that figure. The answer is what? National ID card scheme. What was the National ID card scheme? It warranted the sudden and hasty implementation of the National Identity Project and the restriction of that exercise to Nigerians as from 18 years onwards only was for the purpose of rigging the 2003 election in favor of Obasanjo and his ruling People's Democratic Party, PDP. With the imposition of 18 years and above as the only qualified to participate in the ID card exercise, is because they are the same age category qualified to participate in electoral process in Nigeria by law. And you know, the ID card exercise took place before the election. People should listen very carefully. Therefore, in a way, the National ID card scheme is equally the voters list and much more. It was much more because it gave a more accurate record of the strength of the registered voters in all states of the Federation and their names and other biodata, which were necessary ingredients required to rig the election in a foolproof manner. What is the implication? The April 2003 general election in Nigeria was a complete farce, concluded with the result already obtained long before the exercise took place in the country. How, you may ask? Now follow detailedly. It is very, very important. It is diabolic, unimaginable, the greatest wickedness ever conceived against a nation by the devil and his agents. A country's inhumanity upon its citizenry. Shocking, incredible, that the April 2003 election did not take place in Nigeria, but in Britain. Britain and the American CIA, they were the people that conducted Nigerian election. Using Nigeria's national identity card list in advance with the voters registered list already obtained by INEC. INEC was merely melodramatizing, that is, they were acting hollow to accommodate their imported result. The so-called Nigerian INEC was unknowingly on a jamboree acting at election of fraud. That was why the result has to be counted and announced at Abuja. All that INEC did in Abuja was to exchange the ballot boxes thumbprinted in Nigeria with that already printed by some Britons in Britain, which was why some people are really puzzled on how the election was actually rigged so expertly. All the vote rigging manipulations and falsification of electoral processes by the PDP locally in Nigeria were to give cover, to give the impression to the clandestine scheme so that Nigerians will never guess the truth of what happened. That was exactly what happened. By the time we go into the other series, you now see how they introduce this vote buying. You see how it comes up. You see the implication. But let me conclude with you. Let me not distract attention and go back to what I'm reading. By the time you cross-check the number of Nigerians who registered in the ID card exercise and check the difference, you will now understand how the April 2003 election was conducted and much more. You will now understand why the votes of many Nigerians were nullified. The votes that were nullified, although with slight distortions to cover the evil deeds, was the vote of Nigerians whose names appeared on the national ID card list but did not appear on the voters list and vice versa. When you obtain that figure and cross-check the difference between the numbers of Nigerians that register for the ID card scheme and those that register for the electoral exercise, then you will understand the master intrigue of our leaders. That was why INEC chairman was so sure and confident of himself, even on justification of the votes nullified across states. When I wrote that book after that election, I offered as proof and said, ask INEC to produce the thumb-printed ballot used in the conduct of the exercise. If they bring the one thumb-printed in Nigeria, Obasanjo will lose no matter the extent of rigging involved. If they bring the one thumb-printed in Britain that have the fingerprints of the foreigners that conducted our election for us, then you will discover the identities of the Britons or whomever the CIA and British people use that conducted the Nigerian elections for them. If one considers the hype and fanfare that was used by the Obasanjo's administration to coerce gullible Nigerians into participating in that ID card exercise, then you may be forced to ask, where are the ID cards today? Especially when they claim that over 50 million Nigerians that registered at the first phase of the exercise will soon hold their identity card. With the production rate of 200,000 per day and 5 million a month, it can be deduced that in 10 months' time, about half the population of the country would have had their national ID card today. That was by 2003. Till today, Nigerians are still resurrecting ID card scheme and going through it till today. Can you imagine? Incidentally, that exercise accounted tremendously to the increase of Nigerians infected with the HIV virus, as it was used to further transmit that virus to Nigerians. That was in my former messages, and I will still reopen it. Why they brought AIDS to Nigeria and all that. Go and look at the population of people carriers in Nigeria. Check it with where it started, and you see what is happening. Western conspiracy against blacks, against Africans. That is for another day. Now what happened? As soon as the objective of the ID card scheme was achieved, they sabotaged the exercise and finally rested it by the demise of Sunday Afolabi, who was roped in with the Nwodos and so on and so forth. I watched on TV the unpresidential flare-up of Mr. President. That was Obasanjo then, while he was on official duty to Delta State in April of 2005. When somebody asked him a question in connection with the scandal of the allegation against the Nwodos and the Afolabis, as the president took time out to answer questions from farmers, you know, this town hall meeting, market women, traders, and artisans, Mr. President, that was Obasanjo then, flew into a rage and vehement that investigation was no longer possible because of the death of Mr. Sunday Afolabi. They may have even murdered Afolabi then, who knows? But then the death of Afolabi ended the investigation while others were alive. But the death of a Biafran, Mr. Nejemba, husband of Mrs. Amaka and Nejemba, who was only a beneficiary of the illegal wealth of the husband, was not enough to stop trial till she was jailed and forfeited her husband's properties. That is it. Barely a year to the 2003 general election, the Punch newspaper on September 3, 2003, published a news story from Britain that was its cover story. No FAPO, no debt relief, Britain. That's the, you know, they have resurrected that scheme again. They are telling you Buhari this, Buhari that, you know. They have started it. The devil themselves, British masquerade. You see, the paper reported, among other things, the Paris Club of Creditors Nations has foreclosed the possibility of further discussion with Nigeria on debt relief until after the successful conclusion of next general election. That is what they are repeating with Buhari today. The man they put there as Buhari. Making the creditors stand known in an interview in Lagos last Friday, that was then, the British High Commissioner to Nigeria, Mr. Philip Thomas, said that the club viewed the conduct of the next round of elections seriously, especially for the reason for it is expected to lead to the first successful civilian-to-civilian transition since independence. You know, the first election they conducted, it was Olufale that won, but they manipulated it and gave it to Obasanjo. You understand me? It was the former president of America, Jimmy Carter, that acted as the mole that came and confused Nigeria then. People don't know what is happening. I've been ancient in all these their hypocritical maneuvers. Now this is what is happening here again. You understand me? He said, let's evaluate what the observers saw at the polls against the backdrop of the above stand of the British government. According to the preliminary report of the team of the European Union Election Observers Mission, that is EOM, they witnessed and obtained evidence of widespread electoral fraud in 13 states. The presidential and the number of state gubernatorial elections were marred by serious irregularities and fraud in a certain number of states. Minimum standards for democratic elections were not met. Now, what did the British masquerade hiding under the sheepskin of the Commonwealth of Nations saw? Look at the report. The Commonwealth Observers team reported that from the report of our team, we know that in most Nigeria, a genuine and largely successful effort was made to enable people vote freely. Can you imagine? Can you imagine what this devilish British Empire continue to do today? Even as their queen is getting old to the grave. They are not remorseful about their art, but they are concerned about peace in your family, while you sow discord in the life of families of everybody. I'm sorry for you. Their demise have already started. You can never have peace. All the wickedness you committed over the centuries will be upon you and upon your royal throne and upon your citizens. You are going to see the new face of British Empire. The world will weep and see Britain and regret and say, aye! Is that how the mighty falleth? It will happen. Nothing will stop you. Nothing will save you. No maneuver will help you. No person will hear your cry and save you. The same iniquity you face to other people, you will have the fullness of it. You will become a byword, an abomination that nobody will ever like to associate with till the end of this world. So can you be that sophistry of the British government achieved through the Commonwealth of Nations that actually proved that in truth, the organization had become a colonial hangover and an imperialistic nostalgia binding Britain with her former colonies? To the British government, a successful election is one which Olusegun Obasanjo emerged the winner at all costs. Now, I'm going to offer the proof. Bring the long papers now. Now is the time we are going to write. You are going to see, to evaluate what I'm saying. Below are records of 2 tables for your comparative analysis to enable you to understand what really took place in the year 2003 and why the election was so perfectly rigged that people were confused and dumbfounded. The first is the ID card registrant in the 6 geopolitical zone in the country, which you can use to compare with the registered voters in the 6 geopolitical zones in the country as released by INEC and the federal government. I will skip that table A and we are going to go directly to table B, which I composed myself. And now you have to bring your papers and your pen out so that you follow. I'm giving you the proof of what I'm saying and see how the 2003 election was conducted. So I told you to make a table, you know, of 5 columns of serial numbers of states in Nigeria, the states in Nigeria, registered voters in By the time you finish this, you will understand why in 2015 their so-called card readers were rejecting we are now recognizing the fingerprint of many people, even including President Jonathan. And later on, I will tell you the association I had with Jonathan's government. He was the one that fooled himself. I documented and I gave him a report, a complete report of how he's going to be rigged out. I was the one who decoded to him that the so-called card reader is a key, it's a lock within a lock. I was the one who forced him to do a trial of the card reader, and I told him not to allow Jega to do it. And he still went ahead and allowed the same Jega to do it. You will now find out why the thing did not recognize his fingerprint. Out of his selfish own interest, instead of subsuming his own selfish interest, not to contest election, organize a sovereign constitutional conference for the people, and let the people be free and conduct a new election in which you will not contest based on the recommendation of that committee, because Nigeria have hit a centenary. But they cajoled him. He refused. He refused. Out of his selfishness, thinking he's going to win. I told him he's not going to win, and he lost. This is from that time. That is not what we are in here for. I didn't meet Jonathan personally, but I met people who knew him. And I knew he was getting my report because they were calling me every day from Abuja. That is not the issue now, but that is by the way. I'm coming. So when people will understand why did he concede defeat? Jonathan did not concede defeat out of statesmanship. That's another time. He considered defeat when he knew that he have sunk his soul and buried himself. That was what happened. It was not out of any nationalistic instincts. No, nothing. It was out of his selfishness. How can you have two mass events at the same time? You want to have a sovereign country. He didn't even do a sovereign constitutional conference. He went and did a confab. Okay, you did a confab. If Jonathan had not considered that election and insisted that election, that the report of that confab must form the basis for the election, who will reject it? Nobody, because the documents of existence of Nigeria have expired. That was why all of them came to that election. If you refuse, then everybody to attend Israel. Did Jonathan take that opportunity? He never did. He organized a confab. The same confab, they are running an election, the same tendencies, the same inclinations, the same materials. You understand me? Mass mobilization of people. You can't do it two at the same time. It's impossible. What logistics do you have to implement that? You are mobilizing people for national confab. You are mobilizing people for election. It's an impossibility. It cannot happen. You must choose one. You can't serve two masters at the same time. You must choose one and leave one. In order to please the Northerners, he went and placed them all over the places. He was moving around, placating them, sold us into slavery. Practically sold us into slavery and put them everywhere, thinking that they are going to deliver him. What happened? They pinned him off and threw him off. Now it's Buhari or Jubilee that will come and implement your confab. And legally, Nigeria does not exist today, but people don't know it. I will talk more about my relationship with Jonathan's government, not now. Nigeria does not exist. The only document of existence that binds this country together is that Jonathan's confab, whether implemented or not. That is the law. Not even the constitution of Nigeria. It has expired. Because Nigeria has hit a centenary, all documents expired. The only document that formed the basic existence of the people today, that the people must follow the tenets of it, whether it is enshrined in the law or not, is the report of that confab by Jonathan. So all these things Buhari and all that is doing is rubbish, completely rubbish. So Jonathan considered defeat out of his own personal selfish interest when he found out that he had dug the hole and buried himself, not out of any nationalistic disposition. So when I look at people, you say, I acted like Jesus Christ. The people should remove our Lord Jesus Christ from all this rubbish. When you see selfish people, you start to talk. Now he's opening up. Obama removed him. Does he not know that Obasanjo kidnapped the Chibos girls? They wanted to use the Bakassi Peninsula demarcation border. Up to today, have they demarcated the border of Nigeria and Cameroon? What is suddenly they tell you is Boko Haram. Can you imagine? Can you imagine up to today? Did Buhari not kidnap the Dapchi girls? Why have you not tried Daura? The money they gave Daura to go and pay for the exchange of the Dapchi gas, did it not end up in Daura's account? Is the Israeli government not having the document today? A man that committed treason, have they tried Daura today? And people are here talking about Nigeria. Just forget about Nigeria. Buhari, don't worry. I'm the angel of destruction of Nigerian empire. That just saves you. Forget about it. Nigeria, if I die, I'll rise again. Don't worry. You're already in trouble. You are not there. All this unmasking of Buhari, don't worry. Whether you like it or not, you are gone. We are going to unmask you and you end in prison. The dead Buhari, don't worry yourself. We know what they want to do with you. And it will not work in the name of the Lord Jesus Christ. Don't worry, we are coming. Now look at the tables. Very important that Nigerians bring. Now, start to write the tables. Number 1, Abia State. Just follow, I'll call the state so that you write their names so that you can follow. Alphabetical order, Abia State, number 1. Adamawa, number 2. Just be writing the name of the states as I'm calling them so that when I talk other things, you can easily tip them. Write the names, draw the line to separate them. Draw parallel lines, downward line, make 1, 2, 3, 4 columns. States, registered voters, ID card registrants, and the differences. Then in the number of states, write Abia State. After Abia, write Adamawa State. Adamawa, Akwa Ibom, Anambra, Bauchi, Bayelsa, Benue, Borno, Cross River, Delta, Ebonyi, Edo, Ekiti, Enugu, Gombe, Imo, Jigawa, Kaduna, Kano, Katsina, Kebbi, Kogi, Kwara, Lagos, Nasarawa, Niger, Ogun, Ondo, Osun, Oyo, Plateau, Rivers, Sokoto, Taraba, Yobe, Zamfara, Federal Capital Territory. Okay. Now, registered voters in Abia State in the year 2003 election was 1,285,428. I repeat, 1,285,428. Abia State. You go to the column of ID card registrants. The people that register for the ID card in Abia State are 1,208,755. I repeat, 1,208,755. When you subtract the number of people that registered in the voters register and the ID card, the difference. Now write in the column of the difference for Abia State, 76,673. I repeat, 76,673. Then number 2. Adamawa State. Registered voters, 1,280,204. I repeat, 1,280,204. People that registered in the ID card in the state, 1,208,266. I repeat, 1,208,266. The difference, 71,978. That is 71978. Akwa Ibom State. People that registered in the voters register, 1,624,495. I repeat, 1,624,495. People that registered in the ID card, 1,257,349. I repeat, 1,257,349. The difference is 367,146. 367,146. You go to Anambra State. People that registered in the voters register, 1,859,795. I repeat, 1,859,795. People that registered in the ID card scheme, 1,506,908. I repeat, 1,516,908. The difference is 342,887. 342,887. You go to Bauchi State. People that registered in the voters register, 2,136,557. I repeat, 2,136,557. People that registered in the ID card scheme, 1,930,451. I repeat, 1,930,451. The difference is 200,106. 200,106. You go to Bayelsa. Bayelsa is people that registered in the voters register, 765,472. I repeat, 765,472. People that registered in the ID card scheme, 270,141. I repeat, 270,141. The difference is 495,331. I repeat, 495,331. You come to Benue State. People that registered in the voters register in Benue State, 1,755,528. I repeat, 1,755,528. People that registered in the ID scheme in Benue State, 1,784,903. I repeat, 1,784,903. The difference is 29,395. I repeat, 29,395. You come to Borno State. People that registered in the voters register are 2,156,019. I repeat, 2,156,019. People that registered in the ID card scheme are 1,553,753. I repeat, 1,553,753. The difference is 602,266. I repeat, 602 266. You come to Cross River State. People that registered in the ID card scheme, people that registered in the voters register in Cross River State, 1,289,192. I repeat, 1,289,192. People that registered in the ID card scheme in Cross River State, 1,010,282. I repeat, 1,010,282. The difference is 278,910. 278,910. We go to Delta State. The people that registered in the voters register in Delta State, they are 1,607,337. I repeat, 1,607,337. People that registered in the ID scheme in Delta are 1,437,184,000. I repeat, 1,437,184. I repeat, 1,437,184. The difference is 170,153. I repeat, 170,153. You come to Ebonyi State. The people that registered in the voters register in Ebonyi State are 1,002,000. 1,002,771. I repeat, 1,002,771. People that registered in the ID card scheme in the state is 821,881. I repeat, 821,881. The difference is 180,960. I repeat, 180,960. You come to Edo State. People that registered for voters registration in Edo State in the year 2003 are 1,432,891. I repeat, 1,432,891. People that registered in the ID card scheme, they are 1,327,839. I repeat, 1,327,839. The difference is 105,052. I repeat, 105,052. You go to Ekiti State. The people that registered for voters registration in Ekiti State in the year 2003, 981,753. I repeat, 981,753. The people that registered for the ID card scheme in the state are 470,341. I repeat, 470,341. The difference is 511,412. I repeat, 511,412. We go to Enugu State. The people that registered for voters register in Enugu State are 1,479,542. I repeat, 1,479,542. The people that registered for ID card scheme in Enugu State are 1,233,336. I repeat, 1,233,336. The difference is 246,206. I repeat, 246,206. We go to Gombe State. The people that registered for voters register in Gombe State in the year 2003 are 263,287. I repeat, 1,263,287. The people that registered in the ID card scheme in the state are 894,944. I repeat, 894,944. The difference is 368,343. I repeat, 368,343. We go to Imo State. The number of people that registered in the voters register in Imo State in 2003 are 1,630,494. I repeat, 1,630,494. The people that registered in the ID card scheme in Imo State are 1,296,153. I repeat, 1,296,153. The difference is 334,341. I repeat, 334,341. We go to Jigawa State. The people that registered in the ID card scheme, the people that registered in the voters register of Jigawa State, voters register of Jigawa State in the year 2003 are 1,636,657. I repeat, 1,636,657. The people that registered in the ID card scheme in the state in the same year, 1,433,891. I repeat, 1,433,891. The difference is 202,766. I repeat, 202,766. We go to Kaduna State. The people that registered in the Kaduna State voters register in 2003 are 2,620,999. I repeat, 2,620,999. The people that registered in the ID card scheme, 2,492,497. I repeat, 2,492,497. The difference is 128,502. 128,502. We go to Kaduna State. People that registered in the Nigerian registered voters register of 2003 in Kaduna State is 2,620,999. I repeat, 2,620,999. The people that registered in the ID card scheme in the same year is 2,492,497. I repeat, 2,492,497. The difference is 128,502. I repeat, 128,502. We go to Kano State. The people that registered in the voters register of Kano State in the year 2003, 4,430,000. I repeat, 4,000,430. The people that registered in the ID card scheme in Kano State are 3,507,057. I repeat, 3,507,057. The difference is 493,373. 493,373. We go to Katsina State. The people that registered in the Nigerian voters card of 2003 in Katsina State are 2,567,245. I repeat, 2,000,000, that is 2,567,245. 245. The people that registered in the ID card scheme in the state are 2,226,092. I repeat, 2,226,092. The difference is 341,153. I repeat, 341,153. We go to Kebbi State. The people that registered in the voters register in Kebbi State in 2003 are 1,343,549. I repeat, 1,343,549. The people that registered in the ID card scheme in the state the same year are 985,218. I repeat, 985,218. The difference is 358,331. I repeat, 358,331. We go to Kogi State. The people that registered in the voters register in Kogi State are 1,158,343. I repeat, 1,158,343. The people that registered in the ID card scheme in the state are 983,419. I repeat, 983,419. The difference is 174,924,000. No, 174,924. I repeat, 174,924. Now we come to Kwara State. Kwara State. People that registered in the voters card in Kwara State are 995,882. I repeat, 995,882. People that registered in the ID card scheme in the state are 904,447. I repeat, 904,447. The difference is 91,435. I repeat, 91,435. Now, Lagos State. The people that registered in the voters register of Lagos State are 4,558,216. I repeat, 4,558,216. The people that registered in the ID card scheme in Lagos State are 4,553,242. I repeat, 4,553,242. The difference is 4,974. I repeat, 4,974. We go to Nasarawa State. The people that registered in the Nigerian Voters Register of Nasarawa State of 2003 are 852,626. I repeat, 852,626. The people that registered in the Voters Register of the state are 782,378. I repeat, 782,378. The difference is 70,248. I repeat, 70248. We now go to Niger State. The people that registered in the Voters Register of Niger State in 2003 are 1,607,730. I repeat, 1,607,730. The people that registered in the ID card scheme in the state in the same year are 1,435,472. I repeat, 1,435,472. The difference is 172,258. I repeat, 172,258. Ogun State. The people that registered in the voters register of Ogun State in 2003 are 1,576,875. I repeat, 1,576,875. The people that registered in the ID card scheme are 1,575,825. I repeat, 1,575,825. The difference is 1,032. I repeat, 1,032. We go to Ondo. The people that registered in the voters register in Ondo State in 2003 are 1,504,181. I repeat, 1,504,181. The people that registered in the ID card scheme in the state are 1,116,704. I repeat, 1,116,704. The difference is 384,477. I repeat, 384,477. We go to Osun State. The people that registered in Osun State voters register in 2003 are 1,367,627. I repeat, 1,367,627. The people that registered in the ID card scheme in the state are 1,102,724. I repeat, 1,102,724. The difference is 264,903. I repeat, 264,903. We go to Oyo State. The people that registered at the voters register in Oyo State in 2003 are 2,209,953. I repeat, 2,209,953. The people that registered in the ID card registrant of the state in the same year are 2,124,588. I repeat, 2,124,588. The difference is 85,365. I repeat, 85,365. We go to Plateau State. The people that registered in the Nigerian voters register in Plateau State in 2003 are 1,391,594. I repeat, 1,391,594. The people that registered in the ID card registrant of the same year are 1,366,017. I repeat, 1,366,017. The difference is 25,577. Now we come to Rivers State. The people that registered in the voters register of Rivers State in 2003 are 2,272,238. I repeat, 2,272,238. The people that registered in the ID card scheme in the state are 1,404,461. I repeat, 1,404,461. The difference is 867,777. 867,777. I repeat, 867,777. We come to Sokoto State. The people that registered in Sokoto State, in the registered voters of Sokoto State, are 1,476,691. I repeat, 1,476,691. 1,476,691. The people that registered in the ID card register of the same year are 1,295,425. I repeat, 1,295,425. The difference is 181,266. I repeat, 181,266. We come to Taraba State. The people that registered in Taraba State voters register in 2003 are 1,026,950. I repeat, 1,026,950. Number of ID card registrants in the same state, 1,086,436. I repeat, 1,086,436. The difference is 59,486. I repeat, 59,486. We come to Yobe State. The people that registered in Yobe State voters register in 2003 are 966,749. I repeat, 966,749. The people that registered in the ID card registrants are 725,112. I repeat, 725,112. The difference is 241,637. I repeat, 241,637. We come to Zamfara State. Zamfara State. The number of people that registered in Zamfara State voters register in 2003 are 1,515,622. I repeat, 1,515,622. Number of people that registered in the voters register in the state in the same year are 1,266,824. I repeat, 1,266,824. The difference is 248,798. I repeat, 248,798. Then we come to the last one. That is number 37, Federal Capital, Abuja. Number of people that registered in the voters register of FCT, Federal Capital, Abuja in 2003 are 628,100. I repeat, 628,100. Number of people that registered in the ID card scheme in the state is 439,573. I repeat, 439,573. The difference is 188,527. The difference is, I repeat, 188,527. That makes it 37 states in Nigeria. People don't know what is happening, whether you like it or not. Lagos, former capital, was converted to a state in Yoruba land. Abuja is a state in the north. Whether you accept it or not, that is the truth. That was why Buhari was asking them, or the man they put there was asking them, if you say restructure, what of FCT? It means that Abuja is a state in the north. So it's 37 states. So when you go through all these records now, it's important. Why is it important? So that you know why INEC said few days to the election that 7 million Nigerians will not vote. Now when you calculate all these figures, total, if you check the number, the total number of the whole registered voters in Nigeria as of 2003, the total of the registered voters, if you add all the states together, will give you 60,823,022. I repeat, the total will give you 60,823,022. That is number one. Write the figure out. Then, by the time you check the total number of people that were registered in the ID card scheme in all the whole states in 2003 that we have been calling here, the total is 52 million and 52,000, no, 52 million and 52,780. I repeat, 52052,780. Now, look at the difference. Do you know the difference? The difference is 8,769,242. I repeat, 8,769,242. That is the difference. And what does that tell you? When you compare that table with the total valid votes cast in the different categories of the election, you will then understand what happened. You can also divide it according to zones in Table A. I did not mention Table A. It's only Table B that we talked about. For instance, according to figures released by INEC, the total valid votes cast in the Federal House of Representatives were 22,459,469. I repeat, 22,459,469. In the overall Senate result, total valid votes were 20,164,433. Rejected ballots were 824,928. Valid votes plus rejected ballots stood at 20,989,361. Now, in the presidential overall result total, total valid votes cast was 39,078,558. I repeat, 39,078,558. Out of which 24,456,140. I repeat, 24,456,140 was allocated to President Obasanjo. While the second runner-up in that election, Major General Muhammadu Buhari, was awarded a mere 12,710,290 votes. The other 18 presidential candidates, according to INEC chairman Dr. Ebe Gwebeda, shared the remaining votes of, they are Dim Odumegwu Ojukwu of All Progressive Grand Alliance, who came third and was awarded 1,297,445 votes. 445 votes. Sarah Jibril of Progressive Action Congress, 156,674. Chief Ganifa Wemi of the National Conscience Party, 151,803 votes. Pastor Chris Okoti of Justice Party, 119,547 votes. Others are Chief Jim Wobodo of United Nigerian People's Party, 168,802 votes. Chief Tunji Braithwaite of Nigerian Advanced Party, 6,933 votes. Mrs. Moju Obasanjo of the Masses Movement of Nigeria, 3,756. And Senator Ike Nwachukwu of the Democratic Party, who was awarded 130,874 votes. Obasanjo led other 19 candidates. And in this respect, how many political parties are INEC registering to contest in this election? More than 90-something. Have you seen why they registered as many as possible? So that it will be easier for them to share their votes. That is it. Now, this thing, just watch out and see what happened. Obasanjo led other 19 candidates in 2/3 of the nation, that is 774 local government. One of the statutory requirements for the victory at the poll, Section 134(2), 9 and 6 of the 1999 Constitution stipulate that a candidate for an election to the office of the president shall be deemed to have been duly elected where there being more than two candidates for the election. He has the highest number of vote cast at the election in each of at least 2/3 of all the states in the Federation and Federal Capital Territory, Abuja. INEC therefore ruled out runoff election since a clear winner has emerged. INEC further submitted that of the 41,398,296 ballot casts, 2,319,738 were rejected. I hope you have clearly seen how the election was rigged in favor of President Obasanjo and how he was able to muster the required spirit without a runoff. The highest recorded ballot was in the presidential bid, where both the valid votes and rejected ballots stood at 41,398,296, whereas INEC already had the fingerprints and complete data of 52,780 eligible Nigerian voters obtained to do as they wish through the ID card scheme. Do you understand what I mean? When you check the difference between those who registered in the ID card and the election and the voters registrant, if you check it, you look at the difference 888 point something million. You will now understand why INEC few days to the election nullified the votes of 7 point something million Nigerians. So the election was conducted with the ID card registrant. That is exactly what happened. And that was the reason why Obasanjo then, that was how Obasanjo would have achieved the third-term tenure if I had not stopped him. And that was why he supported electronic voting for the then year to be conducted 2007 election, which he later, that is to ensure Obasanjo's victory if the third term has been allowed to say through, which he later abandoned when the third term was killed. You understand me? What they would have done in 2003 is to feed the new list of registered voters into the computer that already contained the names of the ID card registrants used in the 2003 election for matching to eliminate the names of those who may have died over the period or indisposed, since their names will not feature in the 2007 voters list. You understand me? And then the census they plan to do that time would have been a good tool there. The names of those whose names will appear in the ID card registration exercise and appear in the 2007 voters list, which will not be less than 30 to 40 million, will be used to rig the 2007 election foolproof. before election commences, they used to give Obasanjo victory. But it was abandoned when Obasanjo knew he will not contest in that election. So before you got to the poll in 2007, they already had authentic and indisputable names and figures of valid Nigerian eligible voters, so long as the voters' registration exercise had been completed to allocate in any manner what they want. This time around, better than 2003, because there will be no electoral materials like ballot box papers that will be required to be tendered. This was why INEC was unable to provide the electoral materials used in conducting the 2003 general election, even when the Court of Appeal demanded for it. In the case of Buhari versus Obasanjo, you understand me? They killed it, all the whole document. They said no ballot boxes before them. Therefore, they cannot rule anything. The case was killed. You understand me? They abandoned all those things when they realized that Obasanjo is not going to contest in 2017, which he brought in Yar'Adua, and you see what happened. Ask yourself, what was the method used in conducting the ID card exercise? In cases we have forgotten, since we usually suffer from collective amnesia in this clan, it is called AFIS, AFIS, meaning Automatic Fingerprint Identification System, a technology that eliminates multiple registration. What are elections all about? Same as AFIS, the same thing. Look at it. The then chairman of the All Nigerian People's Party, that is ANPP, Chief Don Etiebet, was shocked with the result announced by INEC that he shouted in perplexity. How do I tell my kids Buhari got 800,000 votes in the south? There were elections in the north, but down south it was nothing anybody can write home about. He continued. Chief Etiebet said although he would not mind if his opponents remained in power for over 20 unbroken years, the problem is that the April 19 event should not serve as a basis for assumption of such powers. Chief Don Etiebet made this assertion in an interview he granted the Sunday Sun that was published in its edition of May 4, 2003. The chief further observed, the burden is on INEC to prove that there were elections in the south, south, southeast, and southwest. Let them bring all the ballot boxes and analyze the prints and see if they corroborate. If they corroborate the figure, return for PDP. If it does, let them take me to jail, he said. Similarly, he said the police should produce the report of the elections from the various polling units signed by the agents of the various parties to authenticate the result declared by INEC. According to the report, the ANPP chairman has taken his case to the Director General of the State Security Service, the same Obasanjo man, SSS, and predictably they disagreed, contrary to his claim that the polling officials were compromised. The Director General, according to him, had defended the result. I told him I did not expect otherwise from him, but he should take a second look at the few reports sent him by his men who actually witnessed the election firsthand. I know as professionals they will say the truth, he said. Etiebet specifically questioned the 1.3 million votes returned for Obasanjo in his native Ogun state when the PDP gubernatorial candidate in the election for the state scored only 700,000 votes. So you want to tell me that 600,000 sympathizers went to the polling station and after voting for Obasanjo returned to their homes without voting for Gbenga Daniel? Or could it be that somebody did a shoddy work? Etiebet queried. Believing that ANPP has a good case, Etiebet said the party is going to contest the result. We are out to prove in the interest of democracy and the masses, we are not for anybody, any broad-based government. On the basis of this result, we are not morons, he concluded. We were all witnesses on how the judiciary collaborated to legalize a stolen mandate by Okoti group. When Nigerians from non-Yoruba tribes complained, the Yorubas rallied around Obasanjo and supported illegality. The then president of the Methodist Church of Nigeria, Dr. Sunday Mbang, called for the arrest of this Buhari, Muhammadu Buhari. The Punch newspaper of April 25, 2003 reported the comment of Sunday Mbang. According to the report, Mbang said, Buhari should be put in jail so that the government can go on if he refuses to accept the result. Do they want people to go and demonstrate while their children are abroad? Continuing, Bank said, from observation, the election held so far could be regarded as having been free and fair to a large extent, asking if it was possible for anyone to have successfully rigged an election with as much as 10 million votes. I hope you have seen the answer. The answer is clearly yes, as it was rigged, as I have proven. Even though the book quoted from Anambra Saga was published in 2005, exactly 10 years later, that was in 2015, perhaps for the first day, for the first time, Dr. Late Ekwueme is now late. Interview published in the Daily Sun of January 10, 2015 was very illuminating and instructive as it sheds more light on some of the shady development that took place in the 2003 election. Can you imagine? Now what happened? After 18 months of legal battle by Buhari at the Federal Court of Appeal, Abuja, against Obasanjo's re-election in 2003, the Presidential Election Tribunal on December 20, 2004, in a 3-1 majority judgment, dismissed Buhari's petition among the reasons as pronounced by the President of the Court of Appeal, Justice Umaru Abdullahi, who personally presided over the case, was that since there was no ballot papers used in the April 19 election placed before him, he cannot determine who scored the highest eligible votes. Secondly, Buhari did not specifically place those he joined in the suit. Among that was the end. Now look at a few reports of the same election. A few reports of the 2003 election threw more insight into some of the developments that will enable you to confirm my expose on how the 2003 election were rigged. The Saturday Sun of November 22, 2003 published a very important news report to that effect entitled How PDP Rigged April Election. According to the report, more revelations as to how the large general election may have been manipulated in favor of the ruling party Democratic Party PDP emerged last week in Kaduna, where the leadership of the rival on Nigerian People's Party ANPP released copies of voters' registration cards it alleged were used to rig the election. National Deputy Welfare Officer of the party, Alhaji Mohammed Motala, who spoke to Saturday Sun on the findings, said that the party was in possession of more than 5,000 such cards from Kaduna State alone. Pointing to one of the card sheets, Motala said only one of the cards was detached and by implication given to the state voter, even as most of the other registered voters were said to have voted, said the ANPP NEC member. They allocated votes for this ward in question. They gave victory to the PDP. Yes, they say PDP won. However, I would like to point out that many of the names on this sheet alone are fictitious and do not exist in the world. INEC and PDP just fill the form to use to rig people out. A closer look at the sheet showed that the remaining 9 cards were made out for Bello Aliyu, Hawa Ali, Magali Aliyu, Obali Ali, Nura Aliyu, Muimuna Alimi, Sadiya Aliyu, Abubakar Aliyu, and Saniu Aliyu, alleging that many of the cars never made it to the polling centers. Motala said that the coincidence of names also showed that INEC officials may either have allocated large chunks of cards to prominent PDP people in contravention of the law or simply filtered the cards themselves to give victory to the PDP. The ANP chief then said that in some instances, the number of unclaimed voters cards and therefore uncast votes clearly faulted the total vote cards declared by INEC when compared with the number of registered voters in the area. He said what is more worrisome about the finding is that he and other party leaders have spent several months in this particular ward trying to put faces to the name without much success. This ward is very small and the people here literally know themselves. It is not like Lagos or all these heavy populated areas where you might not know the name of your next door neighbor. Here, if you call a name, people will take you to the person's house, but they don't know much of these names. Motala reversed. 2 or 3 things are possible in this situation. The first is that no election took place. and figures were allocated and victory given to PDP. The second is that people voted but did not vote with their voters registration card, which is illegal. The third is that somebody sat down somewhere and thumbprinted for all these other people and stopped the ballot boxes with them, Murtala argues. He said either way, the issue was overlooked. It pointed to the fact that the result of the general election cannot be allowed to stand. He said that the party had already obtained similar evidences from Anambra and at least 3 other states in the southeast, 5 states in the south-south, including Rivers, Plateau, and Katsina states. According to him, the ANPP national officers who remain with presidential candidate General Muhammad Buhari in his battle to get the court to invalidate the result of the election, getting forensic experts to examine from ECA8 is even waste of time. Let us ask INEC to show us her stock of unclaimed voters registration cards, and the fraud that was the figure declared in the April election will become very glaring, Murtala said. Let INEC give us the number of people who picked up their cards in Anambra, Rivers, Katsina, Kaduna, Southeast, South, and all over the places. The unclaimed voters cards are some of the evidences the NNPP is tendering before the court as he seeks to nullify the results of the April poll. Murtala expressed optimism that the ANPP will in the end be able to expose both INEC and PDP and make it clear to everybody that what happened last April was general 419 and not general election. I hope that any further lingering doubt about how the 2019 election was rigged by President Obasanjo and his group has now been removed. A process they have re-engineered to reenact Obasanjo, to bring Obasanjo to power in 2007, which was abandoned when the third term event was killed. That was exactly what happened. That was how the election was conducted. You understand me? Now let us look at another issue. This is the foundation we are going to use to expose what happened in 2015 and the Anambra election. By the time we finish it, nobody will be talking about the 2019 election. Their fraud will be open. Now, on third term, Orji Uzor Kalu claimed that this is what Orji Uzor Kalu said in one of the interviews in television. According to Orji Uzor Kalu, he claimed that as Obasanjo was busy with his third term plot, he never knew I'm quoting Orji Uzor Kalu, he never knew we were plotting a coup under him with President of Tanzania, President Thabo Mbeki, and President John Kufuor. They said no, they will not allow third term with America. We planned it and said no, we will not allow third term, and that was exactly what happened. So he went on to brief President Bush, and President Bush told him, as long as you don't exceed the Nigerian constitution, even people who are taking credit in the Senate, the person who derailed third term in the Senate is Ibrahim Mantu and Wabara, Adolphus Wabara. He was just removed as Senate president. We contacted him, made a deal with him, Mantu, and gave them the derailed detail. I will not come in detail to say how we derailed it, because it was a full Marshall plan to derail it that day and kill it, and that was how we killed it. They asked him, maybe that was the reason he was under attack by Obasanjo, and he responded, no, that was the major reason, because President Obasanjo told me that I will kneel down and suffer for the rest of my life, that he will deal with me, that he will crumble me. On 2003 election, he said, Obasanjo was gone. The interview interjected and said, we learned he knelt down and begged Atiku. Orji Uzor Kalu said, he also knelt down and begged me in my bedroom. He came to the government house in Asokoro. He came in the middle of the night. He was the commander-in-chief, and the security men cannot stop him. He knocked on my door. I opened it, and it was him. He knelt down and begged me after he won. After he won, I went to greet him, and he told me I will suffer throughout my life. Orji Uzor Kalu does not even know how the 2003 election was conducted. Look at him. He claimed that it was Mantu, Ibrahim Mantu, who killed Totam, when Ibrahim Mantu was the main pillar, the men in command for Obasanjo's third tenure. Now let us evaluate the call about Mantu. We are going to force him. I'm going to show the world how Totam died. It should be recalled then that Ibrahim Mantu, the then deputy president, and by virtue of that position, became the chairman of the Constitutional Review Committee that was the main arrowhead the then President Obasanjo unsuccessfully used to achieve, to achieve his third-term ambition that was later checkmated. A committee that was riddled with all kinds of corruption, of arm twisting, money laundering, promises of return tickets to governors and members of the National Assembly, promises of free plots in Abuja and so on and so forth, in pursuit of Obasanjo's third-term dream that was later derailed. We had Ansogana must go exchange hands from media reports shown on electronics, electronics and print media. Initially, 50 million were distributed up to 80 million naira to induce pro-term senators, other members of the review committee, and members of the National Assembly to support the smuggled clause of tenure extension for the President Olusegun Obasanjo into the so-called proposal for the amendment of the Constitution. Only for members of the Constitutional Review Committee worked out. Look at it, when they were in Port Harcourt, how many of them worked out? 4. Only 4 members of the Constitutional Review Committee worked out of the Port Harcourt meeting of the Mantu Constitutional Review Committee to protect the grotesque and wicked manipulations of the evaluation of result of the stage-managed zonal public hearing, as Ibrahim Mantu, the chairman of the committee, was about to impose the third-term agenda agreement on the rest of the members of his committee. Very much important to recall that it was only after the Port Harcourt meeting of the Constitutional Review Committee that numerous political groups of the Arewa Consultative Forum, very important, it was only after that Port Harcourt, after the Port Harcourt meeting of the Constitutional Review Committee that the numerous political groups comprising of members of the ruling party, ANPP, and so on and so forth, social cultural groups, led by the Arewa Consultative Forum, Afenifere, Ahanes Ndibo, and so on and so forth, sprang up and stood against it. Why and how, one may ask, which brings us to how actually third-term was killed. How was third-term killed? On the day Mantu was in Port Harcourt saying third-term was a done deal, I was in Port Harcourt on that very day. Mantu committee was holding their regional briefing in Port Harcourt. And in that meeting, their conference, it was televised live on national television. All national television were carrying it, which Ibrahim Mantu publicly boasted that third-term agenda is already a done deal. That was what Mantu said. He said it's already a done deal. I was in Port Harcourt on that day, on issue related to my book, this Anambra Saga, which I published then. The person I went to see at Port Harcourt on that day, I was told, went to Sergeant Awuse's hotel in Port Harcourt. When I got to Sergeant Awuse's hotel to seek the fellow out, that was the first time and only time I met and spoke with Sergeant Awuse, a very prominent politician in Rivers State. I was drawn to some gentlemen watching the Mantu, the Mantu-led committee proceedings on the television, and was forced to raise my voice when Ibrahim Mantu boasted that third term for Obasanjo is a done deal. I unconsciously shouted out loud, "It can never happen. I must stop you." There was a pin-drop silence as all eyes turned in my direction instantaneously. In unison, they shouted at me, "What did you just say now?" I boldly told them that Ibrahim Mantu's third-term done deal is not going to work out because I must stop it. They seriously sized me up as if meant to throw me out of the place. Then one of them called out to a man in an inner office, "Sarge, Sarge, come and see what this man here is saying." Then out came this tall, dark man called Sarge. That is Sergeant Awuse. So I told them he already had me, that I don't know what I'm talking about. That who am I to say that I will stop third term? They were also annoyed with me that I have to leave the place without even accomplishing why I went there, as my head was boiling with intense rage, and my body shaking as I was madly consumed on immediate plan to stop Obasanjo's third-term agenda. I told them to watch the news in a few days' time and see what happened, and they shouted, "Madman," that I should leave the place. I left immediately for my abode in Aba. Immediately I got to Aba, I brought out some copies of my book, Anambra Saga, and I drafted a letter to the Arewa Consultative Forum through their secretary then. I told them to carefully read only chapter 4 of the book, especially the subheading, the compromise majority, that detailed how the 2003 election was conducted. I emphasized to them that the prevailing tendency then was to allow the masses of Nigeria to decide Obasanjo's fate at the polls in 2007, since they are almost cruising home to victory with their third-term agenda at the National Assembly. I told them pointedly that if Obasanjo was not stopped now, he must win that next election very convincingly, using the method detailed in my book. I sent that mail by courier service the next day. That took only 2 days to get to his destination. 4 days later, I was busy with other things. Then the secretary of the Arewa Consultative Forum, he called me on phone. And inquired if I was the person that sent the mail. I said yes. He told me that I must mail immediately additional 10 copies of that book to them as a matter of urgency. I asked him about the money and he shouted back, "You don't know what your book have started. Send it now and talk about any amount of money you want later." He shouted. Some generals want it and they want it now. I immediately sent additional 10 copies to them. I never called back to ask for the money and never received a dime from them till date. But I was very glad that what I have, at what I have started. I told them that Obasanjo's third-term ambition was geared towards causing a war in Nigeria that will pitch the cornet against the people of the former Eastern region. As Obasanjo and the Yorubas, we are in alliance with elements of the Middle Belt region in this plot. That was why Obasanjo selected 90% of his northern appointments from the Middle Belt, bearing in mind that Kaduna State, Niger State, Kwara State, apart from the traditional plateau, Kogi, Nasarawa, we are included in this new Middle Belt that had the support and commitment of people like Nasir El-Rufai, David Mark in the Senate, and many others. That was Obasanjo's reason for the so-called monetization program, privatization policy, sell-off of Bakassi, kidnap of Chibok guests, and so on and so forth. That was his fears of a program reversal and dispose if we did not get third term. And his plot to cause war in order to cover his track that many Nigerians do not know about till date. So when I enumerated all these explanations in the letters I drafted to these people, suddenly the Arewa Consultative Forum sprang up and made it a life and death battle of the ultimate. They threatened all their, their senators and honorable members in the National Assembly, both in the lower and the upper houses, that collected Obasanjo's third-term plot money with death if they don't beat a retreat. The Arewa Consultative Forum became the main frontrunners in opposition to third-term agenda and made it a national issue in defense of democracy and the so-called unity of Nigeria. They made people see the danger of Obasanjo remaining in office beyond May 29, 2007, in gross violation of the constitution of the country. It was the Arewa Consultative Forum that made other socio-cultural organizations like Afenifere, Ohaneze Ndigbo, and so on and so forth to stand up against third term. Obasanjo and the Yorubas, out of fear, capitulated and third term died. This is the story of how third term died and how I spearheaded the killing of it, because it was meant to unjustly use the people of the former Eastern region as cannon fodders to realize Obasanjo's evil plot then. Check the activities of people like El-Rufai against the cornet while he was in Obasanjo's cabinet, and how he reversed himself and warmed himself into Buhari's heart immediately the baton changed hands. Let us see other contemporary news reports of that time to evaluate my account of what truly transpired and, expose the lie of Ojuso Carlos' claim on how he killed third term I gladly welcome any other contrary version, to what I have said. Look at it. News report. The same Mantu he claimed he used Mantu to kill Totem. Look at it. New reports of Daily Trust, March 10, 2016. Go and check it. By Habib Pindiga. He said the National Assembly Joint Constitutional Review Committee yesterday, March 9, 2016, in Port Harcourt, Rivers State, approved 3 terms of 4 years tenure for the president and state governors, paving way for tenure extension. This decision was taken through a voice vote amidst protests by members who wanted a division. That was the same man too. The same man too, he claimed that he used to kill Tottenham. Look at it. That's what the same man too, he claimed. Have you seen it? That he's lying. He does not know how it happened. Let me see it on that report of the same issue. He said the National Assembly Joint Committee on Review of the 1999 Constitutional Review, led by Deputy Senate President Ibrahim Mantu, Thursday endorsed 3rd term for elected office holders. This is coming at a time senators accuse Senator Mantu of acting out a script written by the presidency. That is the same man. Oju Zakalo claimed that they used him and gave him details of how to kill Totem. Have you seen the lies? Confirming the committee's endorsement of 3rd term in Port Harcourt Thursday, Honorable Mawo Uhabunwa, who represents Arochukwu Federal Constituency, Abia State, in the House of Representatives, said that the decision of the committee was based on majority views during the public hearing in the geopolitical zone. Uhabunwa, however, said that its adoption by the committee did not mean that it has automatically become part of the new constitution, as it is still subject to ratification on the floor of both chambers of the National Assembly. He said there was no motion or counter motion on the issue, but it was adopted because majority of the members submitted during the public hearing rooted for it. On his part, Mantu said that the decision was not his view, but that of Nigerians. What we are doing is to harmonize the popular opinions of the Nigerian public. So whatever we do here should not be seen as Mantu's decision. We want a situation where every section of the country have a say of belonging. That is why we are adopting the majority view on everything, on the issue. He said that so far the assignment is progressing well, and repeated his earlier call that the National Assembly should be left alone to do its job according to the rule of law, in a very reference to Abuja High Court order. However, Senator, okay, let me not go into more details. You have seen what happened. Whatever, okay, look at it. He said in a related development, Chief Tony Anini, Chairman Board of Trustees of the People's Democratic Party, as part of efforts to get majority of members of the House of Representatives to support the 3rd term agenda, met with selected members of the House. Daily Sun gathered that the meeting held at the Chelsea Hotel, Abuja, was attended by about 185 members drawn from all political parties and was addressed by the BOT chairman. A member of All Nigerian People's Party, ANPP, and another member of PDP confirmed that the meeting, which was camouflaged as dinner, was used to warn members of the House to accept the 3rd term agenda. I was not surprised that the dinner had Chief Anini in attendance. We knew it all. That is the reason we attended, so as to see things for ourselves. They already know that it would not be a Tea Party in the House. I think that was why they are doing everything to get us. But I can assure you that they will fail. The NPP member said. According to him, Anini himself observed that the gathering was not auspicious enough to reel out strategies to capture the House to do the bidding of the third-term promoters, as he only threw the challenge to those present to go for more membership drive. Chief Anini advised that we should go and get 2 more members each from our state to attend the next meeting that will be convened in the next few days. He promised that the time and venue would be communicated to us. He disclosed the PDP member, formerly of ANPP, also confirmed that the meeting held but denied that money was shared after the dinner. That's one of the reports, and disclaiming Mantu. Today, where is Anini? Where is he? Is he not late? What is he remembered for today? Then in death we confront our iniquities. That is what happened. So we shall be careful what we do. Even Pantu's position is very better. They have been very remorseful and very confessional about how they have been fraudulently rigging elections in Nigeria. If he can keep it on, God will forgive him. Now look at the same Mantu he claimed. I will read a news report on what Mantu himself said. How Obasanjo